Anglers, thank you so much for tuning in today. My guest is Rafael, who is the president of the Curicuriari Lodge. And as you can guess, it focuses on the amazing Curicuriari River, fishing in the amazing Curicuriari River. We're going to quickly go over just some general information. Uh, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I want to get to things like fishing tactics and what we have for 2024. Rafael's got a cool surprise for us for 2024. But let's quickly give everybody an overview. Let me share my screen. Okay, there we go. Rafael, are you seeing it?
Yes.
Great. That means that the viewers are as well. Okay. So here is Manaus. Just as the point of reference, this is where you will fly into to begin your trip. And then we are going to follow the Rio Negro all the way to São Gabriel. And the main tributary just below São Gabriel is the Rio Curicuriari. Now, Rafael, after anglers land in São Gabriel, how long is the jet boat ride to get to where the Curicuriari Lodge will be stationed, approximately?
About 2 hours and a half, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So for this season, we are constructing at this moment with this project will end in March. So it'll be two speedboats with very nice seats, with Starlink internet. And then we'll be like in between 2 hours and a half, 3 hours, we'll be in the hotel.
Perfect. And can you elaborate a little bit more about that this is on an indigenous community?
Sorry?
Can you elaborate a little bit how this is an exclusive fishery? It's on an indigenous community, correct? And it's
Yes,
a
yes.
very few amount of anglers get to fish this every year.
Yes. At this moment, we are talking about the most exclusive river of Amazon because only 96 anglers worldwide can fish in this river in all year. So it's a very special river. We have like 8 communities that be part of this agreement. We have all the license with the FUNAI, IBAMA, and all the government and NGOs. So this is the most exclusive river in Amazon at this time. So it's an indigenous river.
Yeah, it's a long ways out there. I mean, it's a you're almost in Colombia. It's a pretty good trip. It is a very remote destination, but it is a beautiful river. I really enjoy fishing it. Let's talk about the species. The primary target is obviously the biggest peacock, the Cyclotamensis. Rafael, do you guys ever catch catfish there?
Yes, yes. We have several species of catfishes. It's not our primary option, but when we have some clients that okay, I'm tired to catch the biggest peacocks and I want slow down, we can fish catfishes. So we have the gear for this, and we know the points in the river to do this with anglers.
Yeah, no question. This is definitely a trip for giant peacocks. But I always get asked, is there a little bit of catfishing that we could do? And my response is always, Curicuriari is a giant peacock fishery, but occasionally you can get into some of those catfish, correct? And then let's talk about the butterfly species. These things are pretty big compared to your average Rio Negro peacock species. I mean, how many kilos are these things?
Yes, in the last season, 2023 season, we catch a butterfly with 69 centimeters. So it's the size
Yeah.
of a temensis.
Yeah.
Uh, and you can catch butterfly fishes all day. This kind of river have this things. You catch the peacocks, you catch the cichlid messes, but in the meantime, we catch a lot of butterfly fishes. So
Yeah.
so is this, and we have the biggest ones. I don't know if the biggest ones, but we have a lot of big butterfly fishes in this river. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen some guys catch some 10 plus pound butterflies, which is huge. I mean, on the Rio Negro, occasionally you'll catch one that big, but I haven't seen peacocks or excuse me, the butterfly species in that size very often. I mean, they're a lot of fun. Okay,
and
let's move on.
we are talking about a rapid water river. So even the butterfly is very strong. It's very strong fishes in this kind of river. And one of the things that I saw in the first time that I was in Curicuriari is that I'm fishing with the surfaces baits like wood choppers, and I catch butterfly fishes in the wood choppers. So
Yeah.
they are very angry fishes in this kind of river.
They're very aggressive. I mean, I've had top water explosions and thought for sure it was a giant peacock, only to find it was a 7 or 8 pound butterfly, but it was still a lot of fun
Yes,
and the hits are quite violent. They're actually
yes,
sometimes I get tired of fishing for the big trophies and I like to go target those because it's pretty fun to go after them actually. Let's briefly talk about the gear. What types of rods and reels we're using, what kind of lures. Why don't you go over that a little bit?
yes. When we are talking, we must remember that we are talking about the river that you can catch the world record. So you must have the correct gear. You cannot lose the trophy because of a gear problem. So we have all the gear for the anglers. We are talking about 25 between 25 to 30 pounds rods. We have some Shimano reels for both hands, left and right hand. We have spinning reels too, all with between 55 to 65 pounds braided lines. And we have the fluorocarbon leader and all the things and the lures. Normally, the clients use a lot of jigs that we made special for Curicuriari. We use the wood choppers from height holder with some specific colors. We change all the hooks of the lures because they must be very strong, quite the same that you use for sea fishing. If you fish in the ocean. So is that we have all the gear that you must have for catch the trophies in Curicuriari.
Yeah, and that's something really important. If you want to bring your own lures, you need to have saltwater grade hooks. And even those, I've seen those get, bent or cramped down. So it's essential that you have saltwater grade hooks. I always like to carry a little hook sharpener with me too to touch them up if I snag onto a log because, you're working really hard for that one trophy and you want to have sharp hooks and strong hooks. I think that's critical. So but nice thing about this, as Rafael mentioned, all the gear's there. You don't have to bring anything if you don't want to, but everybody likes to bring their secret lure, it seems like. So, okay, wonderful. So let's get into the stuff that's I think is a little more fun. First of all, you just built brand new fishing boats for this past season. Why don't you talk about those? Those are very nice. Maybe I can find some pictures of them here online. Let me see. Uh, All right, here we go. This video should roll and show you some pictures of them. So why don't you tell us about these new fishing boats? These are pretty nice.
Yeah, so we have like a 6 meters fishing boat. We have a very big platforms in both sides. With I don't know the name of the name of that I can use in English for the floor, but
It's just like a non-slip material. Yeah.
yes, yes. So stay cold. You don't. It's safe to be in there. We have seat posts, 50 HP Mercury engine, main Kota trolling motors, EFA ruler, Boga grip from East Boga in each boat. So it's very complete. And you fish very well when we are talking about bait casting and even fly fishing because you can be seated and uh, even fishing the platforms, feeling very safe.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Good. Okay. And then let's talk about you've added some new things to the boat. You've put some new mattresses in, which is really nice. You got brand new beds. And why don't you talk about the new water filtration system you just installed?
Yes, we installed a new filtration system that we have drinkable water in all the rooms. So we have the bottles of the water, but you can drink the water from all the batch. It's completely clean, sorry. And it's the same that have the government use in wars and in the indigenous community. So it's a automatic system that transforms the water of the river in clear water for human consume.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember being out there when you all were installing that. That was quite a process, but I think that's going to turn out really good. Cool. So let's talk about why people should be excited about the Curicuriari. And it really comes down to it produces just ridiculously big fish, right? I mean, it is the place to go if you want to try and catch a trophy. And let me see if I can pull up some of these monsters. Let me do a screen share again. And let's talk about some of the big fish that you guys caught last season. Let's see. Why don't we talk about Wayne Davis's fish, this one specifically? Why was this a special fish this past season?
Yes. So this is special because in the last season we received 96 anglers and we catch more than 120-pounder fish for each client in average. But this one specifically is the biggest one. Is a 92 centimeters fish. Is not too heavy. It's like 24 pounds and a half, something like that. You can see that are in the trophy club in
Yep.
January 24 of the EGFA. So there's the same size of the world record and the same size of the Brazilian records, 92 centimeters at this moment, and catched by a U.S. angler, it's Wayne Davis. I think he's from Texas.
Yep.
You can correct me. So this guy have actually the Brazilian record at this moment.
Yeah, and that was a great catch. That was definitely a fish of a lifetime. And I mean, we talk about a fish being over 20 pounds, kind of like it's nothing, but IGFA considers a 20-pounder to be a trophy. Like you can submit it to the trophy club and get a certificate for it. So the fact that you're averaging 120-pounder per angler is pretty incredible. I mean, that's quite a feat. So, I mean, if you look at some of these things are just ridiculous. It's
Yes,
quite an
yes.
amazing fishery. Now let's talk about though, you're not going to catch a lot of Temensis, right? I mean, how many Temensis are you going to catch a day? And when we say Temensis, we're referring to this 3-bar species, not the butterfly. How many would you estimate that you catch a day?
For each angler, the average is between 2 to 3 Temensis.
Yep.
Some days. So, but this is the average. You can consider like you catch like 2 fishes a day and like 30, 20, 30 butterflies. Okay. But this year, I really think that we have some difference in this because our first season in our company, the first season was the last one, 2023. So 2024, we are doing some new things as the drinkable water, but we are doing some new things special for the fishing, for the angler. So our badge cannot reach the upper part of the river. We are talking about 250 kilometers of fishing spots. And in the last season, we fished in the first 100 kilometers. So at this moment, we are constructing advanced camping, but not a normal advanced camping. We are constructing advanced camping with some safari tents, with beds, with air conditioners, with the generator, and all the things with Starlink internet. So for the anglers that want, our program will be like fish 3 days in the upper part of the river. This part of the river, even the indigenous don't know. So like in 20 days, we are doing the prospection process and start to construct the advanced camping. So we really trust that with this strategy, we will rise the numbers of the Temensis, we will rise the numbers of everything in the season. because we will fish in the
Oh man.
parts of the river that nobody fish yet.
Well, I'm gonna figure out a way to come this year then. If you guys are going and exploring new waters, I have to go. I can't resist. Uh, so tell me so you're gonna have satellite internet. I didn't know you were gonna have that, but so you're gonna have internet. Tell us, people always have questions about the bathroom situation. What will the bathroom situation be at the satellite camp?
We have a water treatment too. So we
Oh
not have
wow.
hot water for the shower, okay,
Right.
but we have a chemical treatment for the water. We are constructing all the things. So it will be a tent for 2 persons, side beds with air conditioners, lights, and all the things. It's a
Wow.
tent that you can stay. That you I forgot the words to stay.
You can like stand
You
up
can,
straight. That's tall enough. Is that what you're
yes,
trying to
yes,
say?
yes, like
Yeah.
2 meters and a half, something like that,
Yeah.
with the same beds that you have in the bed. Okay,
Wow.
so we have 5 tents for one of backup. We have a kitchen area, and we have the bed with clean water and all the things that you have in the bed. So actually, we are constructing a new hotel with tents in like between like 150 kilometers from the beginning of the fishing spots.
Oh man. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. I fished the Curicuri a few times and yeah, I would take long boat rides sometimes and try to go upriver, but I was always restricted because I had to come back, at the end of the day. So to be able to go explore those new areas on that river is going to be a blast. I mean, that's going to
Yes,
be a lot of fun.
because you cannot reach these parts if you need come back in the same day to the bed, because we are talking
Right.
about 3-4 hours of boats just to go up, and then 3 hours to go down. So we are talking about 7-6 hours in the fishing boats. So you don't have time to do this and come back in the same day. So why we are doing this advanced camping, because you can stay like 2-3 days in the advanced camping and feel safe, sleep well, and reach this part that nobody fished yet.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome. Okay,
Yes,
well,
yes.
look, let's talk about the some of the fishing techniques because as you said, you're only getting 2 or 3 shots at a Temensis a day. You're working really hard. So let's talk about techniques and what you should do. Um, in my experience, you can fish a lot of jigs at the Curicuri, but we also fish a lot of top water, especially the wood choppers or the high rollers, as you mentioned. Uh, let's talk about the cadence, and what I mean by that is the rhythm that you should have when fishing those choppers. Because I see a lot of guys on TV, and I think this is more for TV, where they're really ripping at it really hard, like shoo, 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 shoo. You just hear that hopper or that chopper really moving. I have found my personal experience is that it just kind of a normal cadence of shoo, 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 works just as well as those guys who exhaust themselves. What do you think? I mean, do you feel like moving the chopper at a high speed versus just kind of a normal tempo is better?
Uh, I think that don't have a rule, because every week can be different.
Yeah.
When I fish in this kind of river, I change my strategies, or I talk with my partner. Okay, let's try different strategies. So this will be the first day of fishing. So in this season, you travel from Manaus to Curicuriari on Saturday, and you fish from Sunday to Friday. So okay, on Sunday you start with the top water. I will start with the jigs, for example, and you change the speed and the strategy for the both lures, because even for if you are using jigs, you can just uh,
Pitch it
run
back.
speed,
Yeah.
yes, or you can do like when we use fishing snooks, for example, doing this in the
Yeah.
bottom of the river. So it's for me, the best strategy is to find the correct strategy. So uh, we have some clients, for example, that I just use top water lures, but some days, some weeks, the fish are not catching this kind of lure. So
Yeah.
you must use the first days with your partner to try a lot of strategies. So, for example, wood choppers, you can try the speed, the very speed one, but I have more. If you ask me my personal opinion, I fish better with some slow movements.
Yeah.
Sometimes even the Temensis catch the lure when the lure are completely stopped. So I work and then I stop, and then the fish come with completely stop lures. So you must try this.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and I've fished with guides too. You know, sometimes I'll throw a chopper out and I'm retrieving it back. You know, and my strips are probably, 12 to 18 inches. You know, the lure moves 12 to 18 inches. And then we'll get a big peacock that's just following, but he's not attacking. And what some of those guides, specifically the Curicuriari, would tell me to do was to make short little strips, right? But keep it
Yes.
moving. So to keep that movement, but that gives you more time before the lure gets back to the boat, right? And changing that cadence and then also the length of the tug or the strip or whatever you want to call it. Sometimes we'll get that peacock that's just following to engage and hit, right? Sometimes they just get kind of lazy and follow it when it's the same tempo, same length, and changing it up can sometimes initiate that strike. So listening to your guides, changing things up, yeah, that's definitely good, a
Yes.
good tip.
So you can start with some more speedy to be more loud in the river, but the
Yeah.
fish will know that the lure are in the river, the baits are in the river. So start
Yeah.
on this, and then if the fish don't catch, you can go slow down, because you stayed with the lure in the catch area. I don't know if I
Mhm.
can use this.
Yeah, the strike
You
zone, the
stay
catch area.
yes, in the strike zone with more time. So we see some anglers that the fish get very near to the boat and they lose the fish because they don't have time to be prepared. So stay with the lure in the strike zone more time.
Yeah, and one technique you can do that's very common is to have one person fishing a wood chopper and then the other person throwing a jig right behind it, right? That's a very common thing to do in the Amazon. You just have to be willing to work together as a team and know that, the guy who's throwing the jig might pick up the fish that was originally following the wood chopper. You have to be okay with that, but that's pretty effective as well.
Yes.
Um, let's talk about what should you do. Okay, so you get a big hit, you set the hook. What should you do then? I mean, how should you handle these big fish? Because I've seen these fish just tear line and go into the jungle and you can't stop them, right? So what should you do to once you get that big hit?
Be calm, because you cannot do anything. Don't put the finger in the reel. Just be calm, because if the fish if the fish will be your fish, you just need to wait. So be calm, because if you try to do some different things, you can lose the fish. The line probably will not break because we use good lines, but if you put the finger in the reel, your hooks will open, even the salt
Yeah,
water. We are
yeah,
talking about a very strong fish. And normally the Temensis, specifically the Temensis, it's a fish that will fight for like 3 runs. So the first run he will catch the lure, and then we go. So just wait, give the line to the fish. Use the drag in the correct amount of drag. I don't know if I'm talking good,
yeah.
but
That's good.
use the drag in the correct level, and give time to the fish. He'll fight the first time, then you come back, we retrieve the line, and then he'll do like more 2 or 3 times. One of the things that we have in Curicuriari is that we don't have too much structures in the river. So normally we are fighting in clear water. For anglers, for us, it's much better than, because if not, the cichlid immense is a very smart fish, is a cichlidus. So we are talking about the most intelligent, the most smart fish family of fishes. So he know how to take out the lure of the month.
Yeah.
he will go to the woods and he will do some strategies to go out. So you cannot do anything. Just wait.
Yeah.
And don't put the finger in the reel. If you put the finger, 99% of the time you lose the fish.
Yeah, and one thing that I'll do for myself, because when you hook that big fish, when you get that big explosion, your heart starts racing, you get really excited, and there's a tendency to just want to start yanking on it. I will just put my rod lower, and
Yes.
sometimes if I'm really hyped up, I'll even put it in the water a little bit, the tip of the rod in the water. And I always want to try to remember, if this is a rod and this is the rod tip, I want to remember that the majority of the power is in the lower part of the rod, right? So just slow pulls and then reel, 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 slow pulls, reel, reel, reel. It's almost like you want to, not be lazy, but if you get too excited and just yank on that thing, it seems to just tick the fish off, and then they just go in the jungle and you lose them. So it's kind of a like you said, be calm, breathe, do simple pulls, reel him in slowly. He's gonna make his runs, just let him do it, and just try to stay calm. I mean, it's not easy to land those big ones. That's part of the fun of it. But it's hard to tell people to be calm when you get that kind of top water explosion and everything's going crazy. But um, that's kind of what you have to do. Okay, so
Yes.
let's talk about, there's jigs, there's wood choppers. What other lures can we use?
Normally, we use some low water lures. Actually, when you're talking about cyclatemensis in our part of Amazon, you must have the top water. You must have the top water lures, the wood choppers. You must have some slow sinking lures and the jigs. So if you have these four kinds of lures, you can catch it in all type of conditions. If you see my bait lures, I have like 20, not too much. When I start in the Amazon, I have like 200, but at this moment I just use the same 20 lures, and I have the same productive of have a lot of lures. So you must have the good wood chopper, like high roller wood choppers made in USA. You must have like some head-ons. We have some very nice, the T20, this jumping minnow lure is a very specific, very old lure for Amazon. We have in all the boats too. Then we have some Brazilian-made lures for mid-water. That's very productive for the butterflies and for the temenses. I don't think that you catch the biggest temenses in this kind of lure, but you have action. And then the jigs. So with this four kind of lures, you have a lot of range of strategies.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you must have some spinner baits. We have these in the boats, the same spinner baits that you use for largemouth bass in USA. Some biggest one with like a six bar zero hooks, a biggest one.
6-0 hook.
It's yes, and we use this in the I can show it to you.
Well, that's interesting. I haven't used a spinner bait. I'd like to try that next time.
Use normally these kind of spinner baits. So I don't know if you can see the size.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
And I use some chads for trolling. It's like a 15 centimeters chad. So this is the lure that can save your week in some times. Other thing that I really like to use is the big shads. This one I take in Bass Pro Shops in the USA actually.
Yeah.
This is the 7 inches Magnums. Okay, so it's a 7-inch shad. You can use with weight and without, just with the inline hook in the head, because normally the peacock catch in the head. Okay, so I don't know if you see it's a big one. The same of the big for use this the biggest large mount there. So this is
Yeah.
the two type of lures that normally the anglers don't use, but can save your week.
Yeah, and one thing, Rafael, I forgot to talk about was you know, in a lot of rivers there's so many piranhas it's hard to use those soft plastics like you just showed us. But in the Curicuriari there's some, but there's not nearly as many piranhas as other waters. So you can use those soft plastics, you can use those spoons, you can use, or excuse me, those spinner baits, and you'll still sacrifice a few to the piranhas, but it's not nearly as bad as other locations throughout the basin. So that's true.
Yes, yes,
Um,
definitely.
let's see. Another lure that I like is a redfin. Last time I was there, I caught a 20 pounder on a redfin. And what's nice about a redfin is, you can cast it and you can essentially just reel it back in. So if you're tired, that's a great lure to use because that back and forth action just does the work for you. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was tired and I was just reeling it back in and I caught a nice 20 pounder that way. So, you don't have to fish the wood chopper all day long. Even the jig can be a little bit tiring. There's other options. And you mentioned trolling. Let's talk about that a little bit. Um, when I have done trolling, I didn't too much. I usually just trolled around in the lagoons. That's pretty much what you guys do, right?
You are talking about trolling?
Yeah, trolling.
Yes, you can use the jigs, the spoons,
Hmm.
the mid-water lures. I don't like too much of
Right.
trolling because actually you are not fishing. You are just waiting the fish catch your lure.
Yeah.
So, but this is my personal opinion. You can,
Right.
if you want to do trolling, if you are tired, we are talking about 6 days of fishing. So at the end of the week, probably you'll be very tired.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
then trolling can be an option.
Exactly. And it's not my favorite way to fish either, so I don't do it much. But again, if you're tired, it is an option. Let's talk about the butterflies. Because for example, I was fishing there and a gentleman caught a 21 pounder the very first day. It was his first time ever peacock bass fishing. He came to the Cootie Creek, caught a 21 pounder the first day. So the next day he said, I just want to go catch a lot of fish. And I think he caught like 40 butterflies that day or something. So let's talk about where the butterflies are in
Okay.
terms of like where you're going to target them on the river. I catch a lot of them off of sandbars. What other locations should
Exactly.
we look for?
Exactly. The sandbars, the islands, this is the spots of butterflies. Normally
Mhm.
they don't are in the bottom of the river. So you can try in the sandbars. And one of the things that normally the clients don't want to do, the anglers don't want to do, they want to start very early and they stopped the stopped fish like in the mid of the day in the lunchtime, for example. But in this time, in my experience, I catch the biggest one like in 12, like 11 a.m., something like that, when we have a lot of sun. I don't know why, but this for me this time is the most productive time. Okay, even for the butterfly and for the mantis.
Yeah, and I would really encourage the anglers to go fish the butterflies because if you can catch an 8 to 10 pound butterfly, you're gonna remember it. Those things are really fun. In
Yes.
fact, you may find that they put up a better fight than an 8 to 10 pound Temensis. So don't rule that out. Uh, let's. I created a kind of a goofy drawing, but let's look at it quickly. I did not go to art school, so let's not judge me on that.
You share your screen?
Yeah, let's see. Let me get it pulled up here. Okay. Can everybody see that? Is it pulling up here? Nope. It's not sharing. Let's see. You can't see that, Rafael? Can you see that?
Yes, yes,
You can see the whiteboard now?
yes.
Perfect. Okay, that means everybody else can. Okay, so this is a really ugly drawing, but I wanted
I
to
agree.
illustrate. So, uh, these are little bushes. Here's a couple trees. And I just wanted to talk about when you're making a cast, where you should put it, right? So if you put the cast right here, um, it's an okay cast, right? But it's not the most efficient cast. Same if you put a cast right here, that's an okay cast, but it's still not your most efficient cast. If you can put a cast back here, I think that is one of the best locations. And Rafael, you can disagree with me if you want. But by throwing past the structure, you're going to bring that surface lure or jig or whatever it is through all of this. And it gives you more time to be in the hot zone where Peacock is probably hanging out um, in that structure line. Uh, so when you're thinking about casting, really think about trying to get towards the back, and this requires some practice. If you can do this at home before you come, that's always better. Because the longer you can keep it in that structure and with more I don't know what the good term for it would be, but I guess pieces of structure, meaning there's a tree, there's a tree, there's a tree, the better. Okay. The other
Yes,
thing is,
and you must remember that you are using a very it's not a it's a big lure, so
yeah,
so it's about training your arms, training the casting, because you, for example, there's a wood chopper of like a 60 inches, something like that, and
yeah,
it's a heavy lure, like a 50 gram lure or something like that, like 2 pounds and 2 ounces and a half, something like that. So don't forget about this, because at the end of the week, you if you don't feel good, you cannot fish. Probably you won't cut your arm off.
yeah. And one thing when you're practicing at home, he just showed you that wood chopper. What I would do is I would have two rods. I'd have a bait caster rigged up with a wood chopper. Then I'd have a spinning rod rigged up with a jig. And I would practice throwing the wood chopper with the bait caster. But do this drill. Throw the wood chopper and then immediately set it down and pick up the spinning rod with the jig and cast that. And set up a hula hoop in the yard or whatever and throw for that. Because one of the tricky things is when you're out there fishing and you throw a wood chopper, for whatever reason the fish refuses it, or maybe you miss a strike, the guide is probably going to pass you another rod with another outfit. And a lot of times it's a jig, or maybe it's a spinner bait or something, and that's usually lighter. So you're casting this heavy lure, and then all of a sudden they hand you this one that's lighter and different. It can throw off your casting a little bit, and it's kind of like golf. You hit a driver, and then you need to know how to hit a short iron after that. So when you're practicing at home, consider doing that. Okay.
Yes,
The other
for
thing
sure.
I wanted to talk about is, okay, so here's our two anglers here. They're fishing. And again, Rafael, you're welcome to disagree with me. I feel like this area right by the boat, I'm not going to say that I never see fish hit, but your chances are lower. So unless you see a peacock specifically fishing, when I get about, you know, 10 to 15 to 20 feet within the boat, I just reel in, right? Because I'm trying to maximize my time that I'm closer to the structure and just coming out of the structure, right? Like this area is still all great in my opinion, because the peacock could be following the lure out of the structure. But once I get close to the boat, I don't chug anymore. I just reel up and then throw again. Now, you're gonna do that and the fish is gonna follow it to the boat and you're gonna miss it and then you're gonna blame me. But I don't know, Rafael, do you have a different opinion on that?
No, I agree. When I start my fishing week, I do this strategy. So have at least 2 gears, one with top water, with other one with jig. If you want, have just two. Then start casting in the same hotspot that you showed. Then start with high speed, high speed retrieving process with the wood choppers, because the fish must know that you are there. Then if you don't catch the fish, slow down, but stay in the strike zone. 90 I think this is just, it's not a correct number. It's just my opinion, like 90% of the fishes you catch in the strike zone.
Yeah.
So okay, you can catch near to the boat, but normally is a fish that already try catch your lure like 2 or 3 times in the
Yeah.
other zone. So he cannot catch the first time, the second time, and then he try again, and then you are very near to your boat.
Exactly.
And then if you don't catch, you not catch anymore, because he see you in the boat and he not come back.
And he's gone. Exactly. One other thing too, I didn't know how to draw this, but we're imagining that this is a bunch of bushes or trees, and you're gonna hear your guide say, "Fish to the point," right? They're gonna say, "Throw to the point." And what they're talking about is they're wanting you to throw to the edge of this structure, essentially, right? This is
Okay.
a kind of it usually looks like big bushes, or I can't really explain it. You'll know it when you see it, but kind of these huge bushes that grow out into the water. And again, this is an okay cast. This is a little better, but really, I would encourage you to throw it, 10, 15 feet past it if you can, and then work the jig or the wood chopper back across it, right? Because that peacock's probably going to be chilling somewhere in here. So if you just throw it and splash it right there, again, that's okay, but I think it's better to throw it out here, and then you get those strips, especially if it's a high roller wood chopper, and they hear that, and it's sending those, that sound and that vibration throughout the structure, and he'll come out and smack it. So when they say fish to the point, that way, and then also, as you're going by on the boat, consider fishing all along it. Whoops, all along it like that too. Is there, Rafael, do you agree with that? Or, I'm always okay with people not agreeing with my assessments, but
No, I agree. I agree with this too.
okay. Is there any other type of structure you can think of that's important? I think points, and then just making sure you're getting yourself, working the shorelines is
The
kind of what
sandbars, the
uh
woods that you see in the water. The point when you see a sandbar, normally you must try. I don't know the word in English. Like when you are in the corner of the sandbar, I think.
like the back pocket, yeah.
Yeah, so you have, like, for example, you have the river going this, and then you have this part. Normally the fish are here, okay?
Oh, I
And
think let me
and
see if I
and
can draw this now.
and try see if you find the drops. Normally the fish are not, the biggest one are not in the top. You are in, like, in the drop zone, like 1.5 meters, 2 meters. So you see the sandbar, and then the water will change the color. The fish are there.
Rafael, can you see my screen here?
Yes, yes, yes,
The
for sure.
whiteboard? Okay. So I think what you're talking about is, here's a here's a sandbar like this, right? And maybe there's a big lagoon back here. Can you draw on this too?
I don't know. Let me see.
I
Let me
wonder if I
try.
can let you draw on it.
Yes, yes, I can. I can.
You can? Okay, so draw.
Let's, yes.
Let's pretend
I will
this is a
change.
big
I will change
lagoon.
the color. I'll change
Okay,
the color here. So, uh, let me see other
change color right here.
color. So, yes, let me find. Okay, I use gray. Okay, there's, imagine this is the sandbar. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. This is the river. The
Yeah.
water is here. This is the sandbar. Okay.
Yeah.
So the fish normally will be there.
Yeah, right in
Okay.
that pocket. Yep.
Yes. You must catch all, but when your boat are here, catch like this, okay?
Yeah.
Like this, okay? So try this, and when you see the sandbar, the water will be in different levels. The sandbar will be in different levels, so try to find the drop zone. If you have a lot of sand, if you have a sandbar, for example, but this is too I forget the word, raso, Zach. When the
Shallow.
water, yes, with the shallow water, okay. So the fish will not be there, like 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters. The peacock are not in there. Where the fish is when the shallow water stop and you have a drop. So cast in the shallow water, but the strike zone will be when the shallow waters end and the drop starts. The fish will be in the bottom of this, like 1.5 meters, 2 meters. So this is the spot that the fish can catch your lure.
The drop offs is sorry. I think the point's not the right word. You're specifically referring to drop off points. Is kind of what you're saying.
Yes.
The pocket. Sorry, not pockets. It's drop offs that you're referring to.
Yes, the drop.
Yeah, the transition
When,
between the shallow and the deep water. Yep,
yes, exactly. Yes, exactly.
perfect. Well, that was some of the greatest artwork I've seen in a while. So that was good on both of our parts. Okay, well, look, let's just talk about kind of going back and reviewing everything. I love the Curicuriari, and I think in the past I've almost scared people from going there because it is difficult in that you're not going to catch a lot of peacocks, meaning the Temensis, in one day, right? You're going to have to work for it. But I think sometimes I forget to tell people about the great butterfly fishing. I don't speak enough about the exclusivity of the area because to me it's one of my favorite places to go to fish for peacock bass. Um, there's just something about that river that's really incredible. Um, I mean, I remember the first time I got a big blow up there, and it was I had never had a surface strike like that before, and I remember I actually just froze and kind of stared, and Galaji, one of the guides, just started screaming at me, set the hook, stupid, set the hook, and I was almost frozen, and I didn't land that one, but got another one later, but truly, this is the place to come if you want to catch fish in the 18 and even up to 25-pound category. It's really quite a thrilling experience. It's a crazy fight, but it's a lot of fun. So, Rafael, do you have any concluding thoughts? Anything you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Just to come visit Curicuriari.
Yeah.
Akut is our partner in US, so they have a specific weeks that I could choose before all the other anglers. So it's very nice spots. And as we told at the beginning, we only have 96 spots for all the anglers worldwide every year. So in Brazil, when we talk about Curicuriari, we have like a 3 years waiting list for this river, and I could have the opportunity to give the spot for your clients.
Yep.
We are feeling very safe about the river. We have much more control this year than the last one because it's the first year that we are fishing the river. We have very nice fishing boats. We have the speed boats. We have the advanced camping. We have Starlink internet in the badge, in the advanced camping, in the speed boats. We have Garmin Reach to contact between the boats. We have new anglers that we are training in the rivers. We fish in other parts of the river that nobody fishes. So we have a lot of new things that will transform every year. I really think that Curicuriari will be much better. And one of the things, the first time that we have a contract that even the indigenous cannot fish and eat the peacocks in the rivers. They put this
Oh,
in the
wow.
contract. So we don't ask this because, okay, this is impossible. And the indigenous in the first meeting tell us, okay, we will not fish and we will not eat the butterflies and the tamances. We have a lot of other fishes to eat, so we don't need to do this because we have a very nice partner at this moment. So
Wow, that's great.
so is why I think that Curicuriari every year will be better, but because we are controlling all the issues of the river, and we are learning to create the better strategy every new week.
It was already amazing river. So if those kind of practices are being implemented, it's just going to get better and better. So that's incredible. Well, look, I didn't get to go last year because my wife and I are welcoming our fourth child, but I am going to be there next year because I love that place. And now, with this aspect of being able to go upriver and fish in the part of the river that no one's ever fished, I mean, that's really exciting. You got new fishing boats. The Curicuriari Lodge is looking great. And I really think this is going to be an awesome trip for people. So I'm looking forward to coming this season, and I want to be my personal best as well. That's the season to do it. So, Rafael, I want to thank you so much for your time. If any of you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. If you have something specifically for Rafael, I'm happy to connect you guys, and you can ask your questions there. But overall, just thank you for your time, and I look forward to fishing there with you this year, man. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Okay, thank you, Zach. Thank you for your time, for the time of your clients. We are here to serve all you.
Awesome. All right, take it easy, my friend.
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
You too.